Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Explore This. This time around, we're going to do something a little bit different again. This is more geared towards more of a franchise. Being that mostly a Sega guy, I'm actually going to touch a little bit on the Xbox and PlayStation 2. But the one thing we're going to kind of explore is the 15th anniversary of Street Fighter back in 2005. Hard to believe it's almost been 25 years that Street Fighter has been around. This is 10 years ago, nearly, well, 8 years ago, really, by this time. But they came out with some really cool things for this game, including the line they came out with these 6-button controllers long before Mad Catz did. Some really great holographic images on these, which was really cool. This is art done by Udon, who continues to this day to actually do some of the Street Fighter comic books. But you have the 15th anniversary logo here. Each one came with a certificate of authenticity, and a little display window here. You can see the Akuma one. This is the Xbox version, which I haven't honestly come across any other ones. I bought this new when they came out. Here's the back side, showing you the images. The controller has holographic sticker in the middle of it here, which I'll show you here in a second on the Chun-Li controller. It's actually kind of cool. They came, not only do they have Chun-Li and Akuma, they also came with Ryu and Ken. Here's the Chun-Li one, and you can kind of see here the holographic image of her doing her high kick. Just 3 images. The buttons are pretty solid. The D-pad I like. It's really easy to pull off some Street Fighter moves. The start and select buttons are kind of an odd place. Really easy to pause the game when you're mashing the buttons. On the back side, you just have the 15th anniversary logo. They're essentially the same for the Xbox controller. The Akuma one is just in black with some purple on it. Aside from them actually opening from the side, actually here's some side art. These do include a comic book along with some stickers that were glow in the dark, and they don't show very well on camera. But here's one side, it just kind of pops open. The lids were also kind of magnetic, so I don't know if you can hear that. They do stick, or have a little bit of a stickiness to them, which are kind of cool. But here's the comic book, done by Udon. Really great, high-quality art. I actually really like Udon's comics. I've got, I don't know if you've seen some of them, I've got like the Darkstalkers set, and I recently just picked up the Super Street Fighter, which carries on to the Street Fighter 4 series. I highly recommend them. You can find them at udoncomics.com. They're fairly priced, or you can find your local comic book store, but definitely grab them if you can. They're really well done, and they're faithful to the video games as well. Some interesting things about the controllers too. They also released a arcade stick that had, unfortunately I don't have this, but had a picture of all the Street Fighter characters on the front side, and it was also compatible with both the Xbox and the PlayStation 2, so you had both connections for both systems, which was great. You didn't have to buy 2 sticks. Like these days with Mad Catz, you have to have 1 stick for your Xbox, 1 stick for your PlayStation 2, unless you go with the Quamans or the Fusion joysticks, which are dual modded for both systems, but not official. These were official. Which were really cool. The other rumor, too, is back in late 2005 during E3, Nubitech announced that they were designing wireless controllers, which would include Cammy, Sagat, Evil Ryu, and Blanka. Unfortunately, because they were having problems with the Blanka controller, he kind of fell off before the rest of it were eventually canceled, and Nubitech went under. There are prototypes that do exist. There are pictures. And they, even on the official website from Nubitech when they had it back in the day, I remember looking at them, and they were awesome looking. They never released a price for them, but they came in a clamshell leather case with a bag of the character, the controller, wireless batteries, another comic book, and some extra goodies in it. I mean, it was a really neat, impressive package. I envy the people who got a hold of these prototypes. Rumor has it they were sold on eBay back in 2006 or so. And there's a few people. There's like 4 of each character supposedly that existed that were done, but they were never mass produced, which really sucks. Originally, there was only going to be a limit of 10,000 for each character to be released. I was so hoping to get that Cammy one, but it never happened, unfortunately. And I think there was talk too about getting Guile and some of the other characters eventually down the line too if they succeeded, but it didn't happen. So. Kind of an interesting thing about that. But anyway, enough about the hardware. Let's talk about the software. So here we are, actually playing the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Uh, this just consists basically of, well, it's a mix of one game and one game mixed with 5 other games. So you have Street Fighter Third Strike, which was released on the Dreamcast, and then after the Dreamcast passed, they carried it over to the Anniversary Collection. The PlayStation 2 version was actually released in, I believe, August of 2004. The Xbox version came out about 6 months later in February of 2005. I think it was mostly because they were adding in the online capability for Street Fighter Third Strike and Street Fighter Hyper Fighting. We'll take a look here at Hyper Fighting first. Loading times, yay. Anytime. Anytime. Come on, really? Yay, virtual, okay. Blah, 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 I'll bypass this. Yeah, we'll create data. So, Street Fighter Anniversary Edition, you have your arcade mode, versus mode, training mode, gallery mode, option mode, Xbox Live, and then back to the select game. So gallery mode, basically, you can view different openings for the various Street Fighters, Street Fighter 2 Dash, Dash Turbo, Super Turbos they were here, Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, you have the different staffs. They also had, which is kind of cool, the Street Fighter 2 movie, and we'll kind of look at that later on. You also had the choice, too, of changing your different types of sounds. So you had the opening, or the PS2 or CPS2 version and the CPS1 version. So you have basically the arcade music available to play for Street Fighter 2, along with the remixed versions, which were originally only available on the 3DO. So, which is kind of cool. So you have your choices that you can make and play that. We'll go back to the main screen here too. Option mode, just your basic game options, controller, display adjusting, save, load, exit. Xbox Live, which no longer works since the servers are down. And arcade mode. So here you get to choose Super Street Fighter Turbo, Super Turbo Championship Edition, or normal mode. My favorite's Super Turbo, and you get to choose from all the different Turbo characters here. I'll just do review of it. And basically, it's just your typical Street Fighter game. Other than that, you get to choose what type of fighter you want and kind of mix and match. So, and I'm not even using the Newbie Tech controller for this. This is just using the regular Xbox version. But as you can see, decently. I mean, you got the full animations and everything in it. Frame rate and everything is the same, just as you expect from the game. And here we are now with Street Fighter Third Strike. Typical game, if you've played the either the Dreamcast version or the newly released, well, I shouldn't say newly released, but the PlayStation Network or the Xbox 360 Live arcade version, basically the same thing. Other than asking for the Xbox savings, but your same stuff. You have Xbox Live, your different options. You can replay, system direction, training, and arcade and versus. Nothing different here. Same old ho-hum. I always like him in this version, I don't know why. So, nothing different. Graphics are still the same, play-wise, same. Basically, your classic Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. What more can I say? Other than that, I'll probably get my butt hit because I'm really rusty at this and haven't really practiced too much. But, yeah. Now, unfortunately, due to copyright laws, I can't actually show you the movie that's included with the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, but I can tell you that you're not missing a whole lot. It's a great movie. The animation in it is done very well. You can still get the Uncut, Unleashed, Uncensored version on DVD still, which includes the Japanese English voice work as well as the English voice work. The soundtrack is also different too. The American version has more of a rock. KFDM is in it. Dem Bones is a great song too for Ken, whereas the Japanese one has different remixes. Overall, it's a really great movie. Probably one of the better Street Fighter movies I've seen compared to the live action, the animated cartoon series that was shown on USA or the Saturday morning cartoon version and Street Fighter 2 V. But overall, I if you're interested, this kind of follows along with the Street Fighter 2 lore. It's very close. The movie actually came first before they started all the rest of the games, so the games actually follow this. But it's still a great thing to actually see for yourself. Really wish I could show you some of the scenes. My favorite is probably the Chun-Li versus Vega scene, or Chun-Li totally kicks his ass. The game 1-2 is also censored. You're not missing a whole lot out of it compared to the uncut version. There's maybe 2 scenes, a longer shower scene, which is just fan service for Chun-Li, and the swear words are put back into it, whereas they take that all out for the other versions. And there was also another DVD version too, which was more of the censored stuff as well, with all the extra scenes taken out. So now, in all, I mean, is it a great package for this deal? You get Street Fighter Third Strike and a mix of Street Fighter 2 Hyper, which has all the old Street Fighter 2 versions mixed into one, allow you to choose the different options, and the movie. I'm not much for ratings. I would say it's recommended for those who enjoy the Street Fighter franchise, want to try something new and get it for the older consoles. But, you know, is it the best compilation of the Street Fighter series? That's kind of left up for debate and possibly for another episode. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you later.